That was a long, long time ago and a long, long way away. But the memories of men are also long. And nobody has forgotten anything about my own sad, queer part in it all. Unless maybe they have forgotten the truth about it. But you can never blame people for forgetting the truth because it is, after all, such a subtle and evasive commodity. In fact, all that distinguishes the truth from a lie may be finally no more than just a flutter of an eyelid or the tone of a voice. If I were to say, I believe, that would be a lie. But if I were to say, I believe, that might be the truth. So I do not blame posterity for forgetting the subtleties and making me out to be the black villain in the piece, the heartless one who said, no room, no room. I will even grant you that a kind of villainy may be part of the truth, but if you want to speak the whole truth, then you will have to call me a villain with a catch in your voice, at least a tremor, a hesitation maybe, and even a glitter of an almost tear in your eye, because nothing is entirely black, you know? Even the human heart. I speak to you as men of the world, not as idealists, but as realists. Do you know what it's like to run an inn? To run a business? Family? Even your own life? It's like being lost in a forest of 1,000,000 trees, and each tree is a thing to be done. Is there fresh linen in all the beds? Did the children put on their coats before they went out? Is the letter written? The book read? Is there enough money in the bank? Today we have food in our bellies and clothes on our backs, but what can we do to make sure that we still have them tomorrow? 1,000,000 trees, 1,000,000 things, until finally we have eyes for nothing else. And whatever we see turns into a thing. The sparrow lying at our feet as dust. Just a thing to be kept out of our way, not the mystery of life and death. The calling of the children outside your window, just a distraction, an irrelevance, not life, not the wildest miracle of them all. That whispering in the air that comes sudden and soft from nowhere. The wind. The wind. Of course, I remember well the evening they arrived. I was working on my accounts, and I looked up just in time to see the woman walk in the door. She walked in that slow, heavy-footed way, as women do in the last months, as though they were walking in a dream or walking at the bottom of the sea. Her husband stood a little behind her, tongue-tied, helpless kind of man, I thought. I cannot remember either of them saying anything, but I imagine some words passed between us. But although I imagine some words passed, there was mostly silence. The clumsy silence of the poor. You know what I mean? It was clear enough what they wanted. The stars had come out. I remember the stars perfectly, though I don't know why I should, sitting inside as I was. And my wife's cat jumped up onto the table where I was sitting. I had not stood up, of course. There was mainly just silence. Then it happened much in the way that you have heard. I did not lie about there being no room left. There really was none. Although, perhaps, if there had been a room, I might have lied. Much for their sakes. As for the sake of the inn, their kind would have felt more at home in the stable. That's all. And I do not mean that unkindly either. God knows. Later that night, when the baby came, I was not there. I was lost in the forest somewhere. The unenchanted forest of 1,000,000 trees. 15 steps to the cellar, and watch out your head going down. Firewood to the left. If the fire goes out, the hearth freezes. Only the wind. The wind. I speak to you as men of the world. So when the baby came, I was not around, and I saw none of it. As for what I heard, just at that moment itself, birth. When nobody becomes somebody, I do not rightly know what I heard. But this I do know. My own true love. All your life long, you wait for your own true love to come. We, all of us do. Our destiny, our joy, our heart's desire. So, how am I to tell you, gentlemen? When he came, I missed him. Pray for me, brothers and sisters. Pray for the innkeeper. Pray for me and for all of us. My own true love.